Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ralf Rangnick wants Timo Werner reunion at Manchester United. Timo Werner played under Ralf Rangnick during the 2018-19 Bundesliga season. RB Leipzig did get Timo Werner from Stuttgart when Rangnick was the sporting director. Timo Werner is now at Chelsea. He's been at Chelsea for around 18 months. Chelsea did activate Timo Werner's £47.5 million release clause. Werner has got a contract with Chelsea until 2025. Werner has not done as well at Chelsea as a lot of Chelsea fans expected. Do you think he would be a good signing for Manchester United? Ralf Rangnick also wants Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig. Haidara has a release clause of £33 million. Amadou Haidara could replace Paul Pogba at Man United. There's a couple of other players that have been mentioned as well who Ralf Rangnick's interested in. Rangnick will be given a 100 million transfer budget in January. Earlier on this week, Ralf Rangnick did get announced as Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Revert back to the other day, it said Manchester United may have to wait until mid-December for Rangnick due to the work permit issues. Rangnick will not be in charge for the game against Arsenal tonight. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Manchester United will get a permanent manager at the end of the season. There's been quite a few managers linked with the permanent role at Man United. There was reports coming out about Roberto Mancini not so long ago. It said Manchester United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been in charge of Italy since 2018. He's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Revert back to last summer, Mancini won the European Championship with Italy. Around a decade ago, Mancini managed Manchester City. When he was the Manchester City manager, he won the Premier League, he won the FA Cup, and he also won the Charity Shield. Pochettino, I have been talking with you a lot about him. Pochettino has said that he's happy at PSG and he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. He said that prior to PSG's game against Man City. Now, revert back to the other week, it did say that PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. And there was reports coming out saying that Pochettino is interested in the Manchester United job. And the Manchester Evening News came out saying that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as the next permanent manager. And he said Manchester United agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Mourinho. Man United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a cup with PSG. He does have a full season left on his PSG contract. He's proven in the Premier League as well, which is beneficial because before Pochettino managed Tottenham, he endured 5.5 years at Tottenham. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure when he was at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. But revert back to 2018, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And he almost won the Premier League when he was Tottenham manager. Before, he managed Southampton as well. He only enjoyed a short tenure at Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before he managed Espanyol. Erik ten Hag, there was talks about him coming in not so long ago. Reports said that Erik ten Hag is said to be interested in the Manchester United job, and Ajax won't stand in his way if he wants to leave at the end of the season. It said Erik ten Hag is Manchester United's alternative target to Pochettino, so if Man United can't get Pochettino, they'll look to get Erik ten Hag. Brendan Rodgers, he's been spoken about as well. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Brendan Rodgers was contacted by Man United. Brendan Rodgers dismissed the links to the Man United job as he came out and said that I'm proud to be at Leicester. Earlier on this season though, it did say that Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire. And that stirred some suggestions up, and at that point it said he was the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. Of course, Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Moyes is the worst manager Man United have ever had. Man United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. And over a week ago now, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. As you all know, Solskjaer did give a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer adores the club, and Solskjaer was part of the club for a long time. He was in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years, and Solskjaer did enjoy 11 years as a player, so that's almost 14 years in total. Despite Manchester United sacking Solskjaer over a week ago, all Manchester United fans still adore him, reflecting on what he did for the club. Manchester United made the right decision sacking Solskjaer. I don't think Manchester United really wanted to sack him, but they had no choice but to sack him in the end. The last few months under Solskjaer was terrible. Manchester United did pay Solskjaer around $7.5 million because revert back to last summer, Ollie signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year. Manchester United should have never give him that contract because I knew for a long time that he wasn't the long-term manager for Man United. But Ollie is a club legend and he always will be a club legend. Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one will replicate what Ferguson did. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but Fergie didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So it does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so he was a very long-serving manager. Before Ferguson, Man United weren't that good. We weren't good under Ron Atkinson. We weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. Weren't good under Franco Farrell. Man United did get relegated under Franco Farrell back in the 70s. That's 40-odd years ago now. Manchester United must have spent over £1 billion since Ferguson retired. And Man United have brought a good 40-odd players in since Fergie retired. Manchester United have got some very, very good players. And I'm hoping now, under Ralf Rangnick, we can get the best out of these group of players. Because quite clearly, we weren't getting the best out of the players under Ollie. Look who we've got. We've got the best player in the world in Cristiano Ronaldo. We've also got Marcus Rashford, that's good. You've got Mason Greenwood, that's a talented player. You've got Cavani, that's good. You've got Fernandes, that's very, very good. You've got Jadon Sancho, that's good. Now we're starting to get the best out of Sancho. He's scored in his last 2 games. You've got Donny van der Beek, that's a good player as well, but doesn't play much. You've got Paul Pogba, that's a good player as well. He's not available at the moment because he's out with a thigh injury. Pogba is out for the rest of the year. You've also got Luke Shaw, that's a good left back. But Shaw's certainly not proven how good he can be so far this season. Shaw's been terrible this season. And I'm shocked in that aspect because last season he was superb. Shaw's recently been out with a concussion. He is injury prone, which is a concern. You've got Tellez, that's a good left back as well, but I haven't had a great deal of a perception on him at United because he doesn't get in the team much. He only plays when Luke Shaw's not available. Shaw's not been available recently, so Tellez has played in our last 2 games and he's really impressed me. You've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre-half as well. I think he's made 4 appearances so far this season. Bailly played very well against Chelsea last Sunday. You've got Varane, that's a decent centre-half as well. But he's already endured 2 injuries since he became a Man United player. He's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. Revert back to earlier on this season, Varane had a groin injury. He was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane did well in a few of the games he played in though before he got these injuries. And you've got Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And there's aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that needs to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent, his position's got to improve, and his crossing's got to improve as well. And we've also got a very good goalkeeper in David De Gea. I've got to give De Gea credit. I think De Gea's done really, really well so far this season. So there you go. Manchester United will offload players next year. I think Dean Henderson is going out on loan next year. Well, Dean Henderson has said he wants to go out on loan next year. You know, Henderson doesn't get in goal now because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number one spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for one game this season so far. That was West Ham in the Cup. Revert back to earlier on in the season though, Henderson was out with COVID for a while. At one point last season, Henderson got the number one jersey, and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. To his credit, he made some good saves and his distribution was good. Revert back to the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Henderson's got that experience behind him because he enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. I think Dalot will leave next year because Dalot doesn't really get in the team. Dalot will only play when Wan-Bissaka's not available. Dalot's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto around 3 years ago. Man United paid around £19 million for him. Next year, I think Man United will offload Eric Bailly because Eric Bailly doesn't get regular game time. Revert back to what I mentioned earlier. Bailly has made 4 appearances so far this season. Bailly only played against Chelsea last Sunday because Maguire was suspended. But now Maguire's back from suspension, I still think Bailly deserves another chance against Arsenal tonight. I certainly prefer Bailly and Maguire to Lindelof and Maguire. I think they complement each other better. My only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone. Towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Man United for 5.5 years now. We got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. Brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. Phil Jones, I think he's also going next year. Phil Jones doesn't get in the team. Well, Jones has always been inconsistent anyway. At one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Did you know that Jones is only the outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era? This season is his 11th season at Man United, so he has been a long-serving player. At one point, he was out with a knee injury for a while, if you do remember rightly. Tellez, I think he'll go next year as well. I don't want him to because he's a good left back, but only plays when Luke Shaw's not available. Like I said earlier, he's done well in his last 2 games. Earlier on this season, Tellez was out with injury. The reason Man United brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Man United got Tellez for 15.4 million with add-ons included from Porto. Pogba, he could be leaving next year. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Revert back to the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba's out at the moment. I think he's out for the rest of the year with a thigh injury. Revert back towards the start of the season, Pogba did well. So far this season, Pogba's got 7 assists in the Premier League. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while and he sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him, PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has been working hard now for quite some time to get his client a move away from the football club. Pogba's won 3 trophies at the club so far. This season is his 6th season at Man United since he rejoined, and Man United paid 89 million for him, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. We had him back under the Ferguson era, Pogba, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Matic, I think he's also going next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. And surprisingly enough, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I think Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got. Matic did play against his former club Chelsea last Sunday. He was playing alongside Fred and McTominay in the midfield. Manchester United got Matic for 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Matic has been at Man United for 4.5 years now. Van der Beek, I think he's also going to be leaving in January. Unless under Ralf Rangnick, he gets the opportunities he has been demanding. Revert back to Solskjaer. Van der Beek wasn't getting enough chances, and reflecting on that, Van der Beek was frustrated. Van der Beek has been at Man United for over 1.5 years now. He's endured a very difficult time. This season is his 2nd full season at Man United. Man United got Van der Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. So reflecting on what Man United paid for him, you'd have expected him to play a lot more than he has done. He's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, I think he's also leaving the club next year. Revert back to the other week. He said Jesse Lingard's future at Man United is in doubt after talks over a new contract collapsed. His contract at Man United expires next summer. Not so long ago it said Lingard could leave Man United for just £10 million. I'd rather cash in for Lingard rather than let him go on a free. Lingard don't get in the team. He's only made 1 start this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Lingard has been part of Manchester United for a very long time, reason up our academy and stuff like that, and he's had his good periods at United, he's had his bad periods. I heard the other week that West Ham want to re-sign Lingard. Well, at the second half of last season, he enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and made an impact. And I heard as well the other week that Lingard wants to go abroad. I think Mata, Martial and Cavani will also be leaving the football club next year. So, there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. My channel name's Red Devil 24. And take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon.